What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Marketing Lot, a show dedicated to teaching real and powerful marketing tactics directly from business leaders that are using them right now to change lives and become more successful. My name is Brian Hatch, marketing automation expert and founder of Automate Big, sponsor of The Marketing Lot. We have a great episode for you today with a guest who is a heart-centered business owner with big aspirations. And well, he's achieving some really big goals in his life. Damian Godoy is a designated broker and has been working as a real estate agent for several years, helping sell and purchase homes, and has also bought and sold several investment properties. He is the co-founder of Argo Investments LLC and owner and founder of Argo Real Estate Professionals LLC. Damian Godoy created Argo Real Estate Professionals on the foundation of ethics, knowledge, and service. He has experienced the ups and downs in the local market in the Phoenix, Arizona Valley, and he has helped many homeowners in different situations. Damian Godoy has a bachelor's degree in business, a minor in project management, and an MBA. Damian made the Trulia 1% Top Agent Award in 2014 and 15, YPN Top 40 Under 40 for the Southeast Valley Association of Realtors. He was recognized by the mayor of Queen Creek with the BRIA Award as the town of Queen Creek's top realtor in 2016. He's the #1 agent in Pinal County for the last 10 consecutive quarters, and he and his team have sold $79 million in real estate in 2019. Damian Godoy, welcome to The Marketing Lot.
Hey, thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the introduction. I always feel a little, bad, and I don't know. Thanks for the introduction. It makes me feel humble to be here, and also I'm excited to be with you and share some information, answer some questions, and hopefully your audience can find this helpful.
Well, I'm really excited and proud to have you on. I've known you for a number of years, and just the person you are makes a huge difference. And I know people will be able to hear and see that on this show. It's a true honor. I'm just grateful that you're here with us, and we're gonna have some fun. So we do dive into these topics and really go as deep as possible that our audience can really listen and learn and grow from, and you really improve their businesses. That's the goal here. And so the marketing topic we're going to talk about today is positioning. I'd love to hear your thoughts on just that initial. What does positioning mean to you in your business?
Well, I'm excited about anything that has to do with business. I started my own business in 2006. I started my first business, flipping properties. That's what we did with my brother. That was Argo Investments LLC, and then the market changed in 2008. So we had to adapt pretty fast, and I started doing things as an agent and then becoming a broker and all that. So when it comes to real estate agents, it's very competitive, right? There is thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have their real estate license. And I think other industries might experience the same thing. There is a lot of competition in the market. So what is it that you do as a business owner? What is it that you do as an entrepreneur to start climbing, to start climbing to the top, and what is it that you do marketing wise to start positioning yourself as ideally in the top 3 of whatever service or product you offer, right? So that's positioning yourself. And what are your goals? How aggressive you want to be and positioning yourself up there. If you don't want to be in the top 3, it's totally fine. I mean, there is business. I think there's fish in the pond for everybody, and it all depends how aggressive you want to be. And that's the thing that I love about business ownership and entrepreneurship is if you want to be chill and okay with what you offer, totally okay. Probably you still do fine. Or if you want to take it to the next level and invest more money in marketing, invest more money in prospecting, you can also do it. I mean, we have a ton of opportunities, I think, in any industry.
Well, I love that we're talking about positioning and we're talking to someone in real estate. I mean, there are certain industries that it seems like there are a million of you. There's certain, and I could probably list numerous ones, but real estate, it seems like, and I don't know, I've heard this from your mouth, but I've heard it from other people's mouths of like, everybody's got a brother-in-law in real estate or somebody that they know that's like, oh yeah, he does. But I love that you said you have to want to get to the top. Like Like if you're okay with just, getting a few deals here or there, whatever. Okay. If that's your MO, if that's what you want, that's fine. But when it comes down to it, you really have to do something different in order to make it to the top. And so, how have you used positioning to like filter out and become different than the masses? There's a lot of real estate agents, and
Absolutely.
I don't know very many of them that have created your credentials, that have done the things that you guys have done in your teams. And so I'm just interested to know how you've separated yourself out.
Yeah, so I get that ask all the time. Not only I'm an agent, but also I'm a broker, which means I have real estate agents below or under me, if you want to call it under me. But I treat them as as business partners, and I have the opportunity to coach them and train them, and see what gives them results, and push them through the different marketing ideas and strategies and all that. And I get asked that question all the time: how do I get started? And one thing that I think any industry can relate to is, and it works for real estate perfectly, is first thing you have to conquer what I call your backyard, right? You have to conquer your circle of influence, right? So whatever trade you're in, whatever it is, like you are a plumber, you are you're a marketing have a marketing company, or whatever you do, an accountant, you want to become the professional and expert for the people that already know you and trust you, right? So the first thing that I recommend to my agents, but also applies for anybody in your audience, is go after the low-hanging fruit. And that's the people that already know you, already trust you, that you already have a relationship with. Might be family members, it might be friends, or it might be your network, right? Your people that provide service to you, and you provide other service to, maybe. So start there, right? And then once with that, you can create enough momentum to start climbing. The disappointing part, I think, Brian, is that process that I just mentioned of start climbing, it takes you about 3 to 4 years, right? So I think that's the frustrating part for a lot of the business owners and a lot of the entrepreneur. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, you want results today, right? You wanna eat what you're hunting, and you want the money in the bank account today. But unfortunately, and it doesn't work that way, right? It takes years for you to start moving or climbing, that wall. But it takes. I mean, I've been doing this since 2006, 2007. So I started my team 4 years ago, 2015, 2016 is when I started my team and being a little more serious about creating something, creating a system, creating a company. So it takes time. It takes time to climb and to start seeing the results.
Yeah. Well, I love that concept that you shared of, is it take care of your backyard?
Yeah. Start in your backyard. I mean,
Start in your backyard.
Start your sphere of influence. That's your family members, your friends, your people that you already have a relationship with. If you belong to network groups, if you belong to a church, people that already know you and trust you are probably going to be the ones that are going to help you get your business going.
But I think that at least the way I saw it in my mind as you were explaining, like take care of your backyard, is obviously what you said, but also you kind of have to put your stuff in order, right?
Absolutely.
Like you have to, if you're taking care of a backyard, right, you got to make it look a certain way. And maybe that wasn't what you intended about, but I still think take care of the people around you, but you also have to take on the identity. So a little bit that says, I do this. Instead of a lot of people kind of flounder or do something, dabble in it. Right. And that's one of the first, I think, elements or steps of positioning is you got to believe that you are it. Like you're doing it instead of it just being like, it's a kind of a thing I do. You want to take it on. And so I think as you take care of your backyard and then get people around you that know, like, and trust you already and say no, this is what I do, then those people will have a propensity to help. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely. And I love that you went beyond, what I mentioned, and understanding the concept that I was trying to say, because um, you starting a business, right? Starting your own business, your own team. Um, we see a lot, and you have to fake it until you make it, right? That's how you start. Like you have to become, like you say, you have to become what you're putting yourself out there, right? So I have to have this conversation with some of my agents and say, listen, you're gonna be advising people on what to do with their biggest assets of their life, right? We're talking about a $300,000-$400,000 purchase, a $300,000 or $400,000, $500,000 sale. You can't be, showing up. I know you're a plumber full time, and nothing against plumber, but if you show up with your plumbing truck to a listing appointment for a $500,000 house, and again, nothing against plumbers, because also they're business owners, or whatever you are, you have to play the role of whatever service or whatever products you're selling or you're offering. I'm not saying you have to buy a BMW or you have to buy a Mercedes, right? And I see a lot of that in my industry, unfortunately. But I'm saying you have to play the role. You have to take it, like you said, you have to take care of your backyard. Is now you become that business, you become that product, you become that advisor on whatever industry you're in. So you have to take care of your image. You have to take care of who you are. You can't, if you're offering a service or a product, you can be, and I also see this, and it's funny to me, you can't be bullying people on social media. You can't be too aggressive or too crazy about a political party. I mean, these are potential clients, potential, consumers that can be in your business, or can be, you can be servicing it in the future. So you have to play the role, in a neutral role of an advisor, of the expert on what you're offering.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of The Marketing Lot. And I hope you'll use those tactics to implement them right now to help make your business more successful. Now, today I have a special free gift for you just for watching this episode, and I want to make sure that you have it. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of people, a lot of business owners out there that are struggling with their message, with what to say, how to say it, and they're also struggling with who are they talking to, who are the audience, do they really understand who their customers are, who their audience is. And so I have this course that I've created that's called The Ultimate Guide to Your Audience and Message. And what it does is it goes through a number of things to help you dial in your audience and dial in your message. It's a $97 course. I'm giving it to you absolutely free just for joining us here on The Marketing Lot. And so if you use this promo code right here at the bottom and jump onto this next page, click the link, you'll actually be able to go and get this course absolutely free. I can't get better than that. It's free. It's $97 off of a $97 course. So jump in, use this promo code, and then we'll be able to see you inside of the Ultimate Guide to Your Audience and Message, so you can dial it in and be more successful in your marketing. I love it. And one of the things that we've talked about now is the foundational piece of positioning is you have to live into it a little bit. You got to take care of what's close to you. You got to live into it. So now let's go to the next level. Let's go with, now we've got a bunch of people, you take your story, the things that you did and the things that have made a difference in your business. But now you've become, right? You've become like, this is what I do. I don't just do it part-time. I can really do it. So now, how do you stand apart? And that's a part of positioning. What's the next layer of positioning once we're at that level? What's the next thing?
So one thing that to answer your question, but also a step back, is start with the end in mind, right? What is it that you want to take your company? Where is it that you want to take your product? How do you see yourself, your company in 5 years? How do you see yourself in 10 years? So start with that from the beginning. Don't improvise. As you start making money, as you start selling your product, your service, don't start just making random decisions. Like, start from day one. And for some people it might be easy, some people might not. start with the end in mind. Is this something that I want, to what level do I want to take it in the next 3, 5, 10 years, So by making that decision early in the process, you start planning and making decisions along with what you already decided and your end goal. So start with the end in mind is the first thing. And then consistency, man. I can't describe that enough. Is you start your marketing, start who you're going to be, what your company is going to be from day one. Because what I see a lot of people doing is they start providing a service, a product, and 2 or 3 years into that, they start doing good because now the curve, it starts seeing the revenue, the profits, the repeating clients or whatever. And now because they're receiving this money, they're thinking that, oh man, it's time to step this up. It's time to create a new brand. It's time to create a new logo. It's time to completely change my model. Well, guess what? You just wasted 2 or 3 years of exposure for your brand, for your culture, for your company, whatever you worked so hard for. So start with ideally with a good logo from the beginning that's going to stick with you for years. Start with ideally the same phone number, already a commercial number that is gonna go with you along the way, with colors, with pictures that you're gonna use for decades, right? Don't be changing your looks. Don't be changing your logos as you start growing, man. It's like keep it consistent. So consistency, a big thing from day one, but that will take you to the next level. You want people to start recognizing you. You want people to start recognizing your brand, your service, right? I don't know if that answers your question, but I hope that helps someone,
Yeah, absolutely does. And so now that we've figured out, we have a plan in mind, we're moving along that path. My question comes back to how do you stand apart? How do you because positioning from the way that I use it and hold it in my space, it's really taking a stance and saying, this is our angle. Like this is what we're after. Right. How have you seen that benefit your company, and how do you do that? How do you actually do it? Because like you said, there's a lot of people that say I'll just take whatever comes, or I'll do whatever I can and change my business model when things get weird. But my question is, how do you actually put your stake in the sand and say, this is what I do, and present it at an angle? How would you how do you position yourself?
So when I'm thinking about what I think about positioning, I'm thinking two different things that it helps me stay organized in my mind, right? Stay with my goals in mind. Is first is the positioning when it comes to your production and your performance, like really showing by the numbers that you are producing, performing, selling, really showing by the numbers that you what you offer is working, right? In my case is increasing the number of houses that we sell, or a number of houses that we closed. So the number of clients, and comparing that to other local agents or other local teams, is how many houses am I selling comparing to them. So how am I really ranking when it comes to a real number of houses sold, in my industry? So that's the first thing is performance and production. The second part that I see on positioning yourself is the perception of the public, right? How are they perceiving your company? How are they perceiving your product? And how are they perceiving you? Because you might not be the number one on what you offer, but in their mind, you might be the number one by how good you are at marketing, by how consistent you are, by how aggressive you are at putting your name out there. And I call that second part of positioning, I call it, how much noise are you making? How much loud are you being? How much are you out there? So there's two different things: the real numbers and the perception of the public, and they both play a very important thing as a business owner, and progressing and positioning yourself. So when it comes, so I can speak a little bit about my company, my product, and I think people can relate to this. So I'm very aggressive when it comes to consistency, and when it comes to what the people are perceiving of the company. And a quick example is I do want my sign. I do want my for sale sign in every corner or every major road in my town or in my city, right? So I go after the properties that will allow me to put the signs on the corners, and I go after the people that are selling those properties. So I'm targeting those opportunities, because, and instead of putting only a sign in their front yard, I can put one there, and two on one direction on the main road, and two other ones on another direction on the other road. So when people are driving around, and instead of they see random for sale signs, but they see mine 20 times, when they're driving around looking for houses. And the perception is we always get the comment of the office: we're doing business with you guys because we see your signs everywhere, and we know that you guys are selling everything in town, right? And it's true, we're doing really good, but I think the perception is bigger than the reality. We are selling a ton of houses. We are the number one team in town, and but I think people are thinking that we do a lot more than what we really are doing, just because of how aggressive we are with our signs and our advertising and all that.
I love that you have a tactic that you use that helps position you differently. I think that's extremely smart, and it comes back to a notion that I've read in multiple books that I've worked through, and I do a lot of research on my own. But it's the idea of a blue ocean. Like if you look in your industry and you say everybody's doing this thing, right? Everybody's doing the same thing. Then I love how you've said, well, how can we do it 15% different? Or how can we do it not like that and do it some other way? And I'm not saying that every idea that you come up with in positioning works. It just doesn't. But I will say that I love the idea that you take what is and you say, how can we be seen more? Like that's the principle behind what you've done, that's how I take it. And then you say, how can we be different than everybody else? And that just creates a different perception of you, and it benefits your business. Like no matter what business you're in, I'm telling you that, like the people that are listening right now today, you're in a myriad of different businesses. You're not all in real estate. That's great. So what are the things you're doing that everybody else is doing? And if that is the case, then you are one of everybody, and no, you're not seen as unique and special. And so you have to find a way, even if it's sometimes odd or different, to be different. Not just for the sake of being different, but so that you're viewed separately. You're viewed as not one of the mix. You're out here. You're above or below or off to the side in a different way than everybody else is. So I love that.
How can you maximize what you already have and what you already have to do, right? If a silly example, but it works for us, is I drive my car all day, and I drive my wife. My wife drives her car all day through town and picking up the kids from school and all that. Like, what best advertising than my vehicle? So our vehicles are wrapped, right? And then we have people at the office that are hanging up our signs and hanging up our putting a lock boxes in houses and stuff like that. So that vehicle is also a company vehicle and is wrapped, right? So we, again, not only through signs in town, but also through vehicles that they see constantly driving all day, they're thinking that there is 30 or 40 of us selling houses, and my team is only 17 people, and we just give the perception that we are an army of people, and our signs are everywhere, which they really are. But when they come to, they start thinking about, well, thinking about doing something with my house, right? Who can help me? And that, and those, we call them touches in real estate. How many times are you touching their mind, touching them through marketing pieces? Our vehicles, and especially our sold signs and all that, are constantly in front of them, you know. So we try to do saturation of the market. We're trying to stay constantly in front of them, and along with that, Brian, is again, and I mentioned that before, is consistency, right? If all my sign, let's say I have 30 listings right now, and if each one of my listings will have a different color on their signs, or a different, you know, picture on the sign, or I run out of signs, so I make one the last minute, or put a random sign. Well, guess what? And the perception is that I only have 28 signs, you know, or I have 25 listings, or 20 listings, whatever. But you probably see them in town, or you know, people can see our signs in town, and the colors are, all the signs are exactly the same. The rider on top is red. The main sign is in the middle is white, and it's a reflective sign with our picture and our logo and our phone number. And on the bottom, it's also always red, and it either says neighborhood specialist, or sold, or coming soon, but it's with the same shape. And so we have 30 listings, but you're gonna see 60 signs out there, or probably 90 signs out there on the street, and they're all match, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think that we've shared a lot, and one of the things that comes back to me often in conversations with other people is the use of marketing tactics that aren't authentic, right? And what I love about what you've done is you have a tactic that like spreads your message, you show up more often. And some people would look like, well, you don't have 90 properties, you got 28 or whatever. But I think that when you figure out what's working, and you're doing it with a heart-centered approach, like, hey, how can I stay top of mind? How can I take care of my people? Like, the business you run is extremely personal. It's not one that's like, you know, I'm just trying to make a buck, and no, it's human based. It's personalities. And so that's what I love about it, is like there's authenticity in positioning. And if there's not, if you ever find a business, anybody, we're so good at this nowadays, you can spot an inauthentic business almost immediately.
Absolutely.
Because what they're doing, you're like, that's shady. I know that's shady.
Yeah.
And so it's awesome that what we use in marketing has to be authentic and feel real.
Absolutely. Don't be, you know, you can't be fake. And this topic of perception is mainly about what you said, is with what you have to do, or what you already have. How are you going to use that to maximize the exposure to the public? And we go very aggressive on signs. We're not being fake. We just marketing our properties more than any other agents. And guess what? The sellers are extremely happy, because the previous agent only put one sign on the front yard, but now we have 5 signs directing traffic to their property. So guess what? We're doing our job, and probably we're doing it better than the previous agent, but at the same time, we're maximizing our exposure 5 times more than the previous agent. Yes, to help the seller, but also to help our growth and help our company. So use what you are already doing, what you need to do, but with a strategy, additional strategy, or additional exposure in mind.
I love it. Damon, I've really enjoyed our conversation. Is there anything you would add to the topic that that the audience needs to know and shouldn't be left without?
Well, it's just I'm excited I'm just excited. Anything that has to do with business ownership or business growth or anything like that, I'm just excited, you know. And I invite anybody in your audience, anybody that watches this video, to just you know, keep crushing it, keep grinding, don't give up. It's exciting to be in any industry. It's exciting to provide a service, to provide a product, something that you feel proud of. So thanks for the opportunity of being here.
Well, thank you for, you know, giving a little shout out to the audience. You know, as business owners, it is not always easy. It is an effort. It is work. And so, you know, we use the right tactics. We get things worked out. And like you said, if we take care of our backyard first. We really set ourselves apart, and then we use what we can to make a difference and to show that we are different. And you talked about the stats. You talked about how you can show your stats and how you can maximize what you already have at your disposal, and then use things that will separate yourself from the crowd. Like, do something different in a way that shows that you are unique, that you are special, and that you want to take care of your clients better, that you want to change their lives more. If you do those kind of things, you'll be the authentic business owner, be the authentic whatever it is you do that makes a huge difference in the life of the person you're serving. And I think there's no better message than that. And there's no better way to separate yourself than saying, I really, truly care. And because I care so much, I've done X, Y, and Z extra things that no one else is doing in my industry. And that, I think, is a phenomenal way to position yourself. Thank you so much for being here. I invite anybody that's listening, if you want to learn more about real estate, if you're trying to figure it out, he is here in Arizona. And you can go check out Damian Godoy, Argo Real Estate. You Google those terms, you'll find him. We'll make sure we put your information here as well below this video. And hope everybody will get involved, grow their business, do more. And thanks again for joining us for another episode of The Marketing Lot. Thanks for watching another episode of The Marketing Lot. And I hope that you will implement the tactics you just learned to go and make your business better. Now, in addition to that, just for staying here to the end, I want to give you a special gift. I created a course called The Ultimate Guide to Your Audience and Message. It's a $97 course. I'm giving it to you absolutely free. And what it is there's a lot of businesses out there that are having struggles with who their audience is, how do they understand them, how do they target them the right way, what do they got to do to make sure they're in front of the right people. In addition, how do they say the right things? Because if you have the right audience and you're not saying the right things, you're still going to have challenges. And so that course I'm giving to you absolutely for free, $97 value. All you got to do is use the promo code on this page and you can get it for absolutely free. So I hope you'll take advantage of this offer, jump in, dial in your audience, dial in your message, and I'll see you next time on The Marketing Lot.